Yo, Goat community. It's Ivan here, and today I'm going to be reviewing my most recent tournament, the Patreon World Championship Qualifier, which happened yesterday at the time of recording this video. I got third place using Chaos Turbo, which is the only deck I use. Just get right into it. I go first. Alright, Mirageknight. So I watched his previous match. He was playing Goat Control. Like a really aggressive Goat Control. With like some Monarchs. Anyway, that's all I really know about the guy. I've never seen him before today. So here you want to use Upstart because you can draw Pot, Duo, Graceful, Thunder Dragon, Wing Blast. The only really bad card is just a Spy. And another reason you want to use Upstart is because you want Magician of Faith in your range of set monsters. Whereas if you just set Spy here, then your only set monster could be Sangyan, Spy, and Dekoichi. So you also want Possibility of Faith. Yeah, just go ahead and use Upstart. Draw Snatch. Just set Spy Pass. So he plays Pot and Knock, so a really good start for him. Summons Breaker. And attacks. Sets one back row. So this back row should be an answer for a Snatch, because you don't really just summon 1900 Breaker without an answer. I draw Snatch. So here there's two options. You can summon Tribe, pitch Serpent, destroy, and then save the Snatch for something else. Or you just Snatch, Breaker, pop the back row. I usually lean towards Snatch. And I do Snatch and Heat Rings. Okay, so now there's a choice between Summon Breaker and then have to Solemn a Snatch or Set Serpent. And I lean with Set Serpent because it's a much safer play. And then I could just summon Breaker once he sets more back row. He just sets 2 and ends. I draw Graceful. So, fortunate that this Serpent is on the field now. I definitely want to wait for the Serpent to hit the graveyard before using this Graceful. So now the only play is just Summon Breaker. I flip a coin here because he set both of these last turn, so I don't have a read on either of them. So just pick randomly. Just attack and end turn. MST's the Solemn. Drew a Thunder Dragon. That gives him Light and Dark. So, good chance Chaos is coming out now. And it's BLS. So, in game at this point, I was just hoping I don't get OTK'd here. Like, there's so many ways to get OTK'd. Luckily, he did not have it. Let's just see his hand for what he had. He has 2 Monarchs and 2 Thunder Dragons. So yeah, no way to OTK. He chooses to banish my Serpent. And ends turn. I draw Wing Blast. So at this point, we want to use Graceful to find better answers. The other option would be like Summon Tribe, Pitch, Wing Blast, or Sorcerer. Neither of those options are good. Just Graceful can just draw stuff to make the Sorcerer alive. I draw a book, Upstart Duo. So there's a few ways you can go about doing this. I don't have anything for the Chaos Sorcerer, so that's almost certainly going here. So the question is the other card. We're going to be using Tribe or Wing Blast to deal with this. Wing Blast would make BLS pretty dead on top of the deck. But if I use Tribe, I get 3,200 damage in and put him on a 1-turn clock. Instead of doing Wing Blast and then maybe giving him 3, 4, 5 turns. So that's why I choose the Tribe play. I discard Sorcerer, Wing Blast. Draw Solemn, which is good. Use Duo to try to get something out of his hand. Remember, I know 2 Thunder Dragons, and then there's 2 unknown cards. Hit a Mobius, which was not doing much. So here, just Tribe, discard books at Solemn. He just sets a back row. I could have drawn any monster to win the game here. Fortunately, I didn't. I draw MST. Figure I may as well hit this new card with MST because it can be Scapegoat. And if you chain Scapegoat, I discard Knock to destroy them all, and then Solemn for the last back row. Okay, he starts off with Kaiku and 1 back row. So this hand, obviously, Spy is going to be set, so you just have to decide what you're going to do with the Solemn Torrential and Heavy. Could try a Pro Heavy. I just don't think it's really worth it here. Torrential doesn't really make sense in front of a spy because you're never really using Torrential. So yeah, it's probably just Thunder Dragon, Spy, Solemn. We saw that he plays some Monarchs too, so you can Solemn a Monarch. Summons Kaiku, obviously not Solemning. At this point, if he uses Nobleman, I have to Solemn, because then I just lose to the Kaikus. Luckily, he does not have it. So here I just Snatch. So there's two options here. You can end turn, just do nothing. Or you can Snatch Kaiku and try to attack the other Kaiku and then set Faith. You can also, like after that, I do have Solemn set, so I could theoretically just put both the Spies in attack mode as well and Solemn the back row. And then set Faith. But that's a really weird spot where I'm just overextending and don't really have anything to protect it. Torrential's not going to protect that. I choose to play Snatch. Right. Just Snatch and attack. Very safe, no risk play. Obviously not Solemning that. Set the Faith to bring back Snatch. Okay, so now we have a decision. Do we want to Solemn the Metamorphosis? If I Solemn, let's see, he doesn't have no Light and Dark, so if I Solemn, he attacks Faith, I take Snatch, I have Heavy for whatever back rows he has, and then I Snatch Kaiku, can put these to attack mode. That's 4,200, and I can banish Serpent. So the question is, would that be worth it? All I would have to protect that is a Torrential. It seems fine to Solemn, but it also seems fine to not Solemn and just play a slow game, because there's no risk with allowing it, where there is some risk with Solemn. Takes Faith. I draw Deco. Only play is at Deco. Nothing else to do. He summons Tomato. It's fine. Alright. One thing I wanted to point out is that this guy summons all his monsters in attack mode. Like, he'll summon Tomato instead of setting it. So for that reason, I actually sided out one of my noblemans. I probably should have sided out both, but I didn't have enough information about his deck yet. I draw BLS. It's useless for now. I can't get around Kaiku. I just enter. So here I draw Serpent. The question is, do you want to set Serpent? Is there a reason to set Serpent? Okay, so what I was thinking here, I can set Torrential, keep Serpent in hand, so then at any point I can just summon Serpent and use Torrential if I feel like it. And that's what I do. Summons another Tomato. No reason to Torrential here. He still can't get around my board. And I draw, like, the best possible card that I can draw. If he Solemns, I would have also Solemned. Discard Thunder Dragon Serpent. No choice here. So here you just set the Faith and Wing Blast so that you can Wing Blast this and then start flipping the Deco and the Faith. And he uses MST, targeting Wing Blast. I actually considered Solemning this. Because so that I can get my plays going next turn. But I choose to just let it go and just wait for my other outs. And I still have Torrential if I really feel like getting rid of the board. He plays Duo. I fake like I'm thinking. I'm not really solving this. He discards the BLS, which sucks. And now he uses Graceful. I know he has Serpent in hand. And I really don't want him to get 3 more cards, so I considered this for a little bit. But you just have to Solemn when you know they have Serpent. Even when you don't know, you just have to Solemn so often. He drew too quick. Since turn, I draw another Wing Blast, which is perfect. Now we just try the same thing I tried last turn, set Wing Blast for the 1,000 Eyes. Okay, I draw Pot, which is obviously great. So I remember thinking in this spot about maybe Wing Blasting the Kaiku and then summoning Sorcerer to banish and then flip everything. However, I don't have a Dark in my grave, so my only option is to Wing Blast the 1,000 Eyes. So now, Faith will get back Graceful for sure. However, you should play Pot so you can have more knowledge on that decision. Draw 2 Jar of Greeds. And you obviously flip Faith before Deco, because if he torrentials, you at least get the Faith effect, which is more important than the Dekoichi effect. And this gets Graceful back with the Serpent in hand. And now I want to flip Dekoichi and just play Torrential. So I could play this great hand against just these 3 cards. Draw Breaker. No reason to summon Breaker to play around Solemn, because if he has Solemn for Graceful, then I just summon Sorcerer and Breaker and win. So you just play Graceful first here. And discard Serpent. Doesn't really matter what else you discard as long as it's not Sorcerer. What am I thinking here? I can't OTK. Let's see if Light and Dark. Nope. I remember thinking I just want to make a safe play because I have 3100. So the only way I lose this game is if I get randomly OTK'd. I end up pitching the Serpent and Breaker. I discard Breaker because I already have Heavy for whenever I feel like making a push. Play Upstart. And draw Duo. I know he has Serpent in hand, so I don't really want to use that yet. And also don't want to drop to 2100, which would make, I guess his ring is gone already. But just something like, I don't know, Heavy BLS attack. I would survive with 3100, but not with 2100. So here just set Sengen, Jar, Mirror Force, Jar. I don't summon Sengen because you can be OTK'd by doing that. Summons Blade Knight. I fake like I'm thinking, which is something that you should do, even though I have nothing here to respond to it. No reason to Mirror Force, it's the same again. And I get Faith. Nothing else I would want. Don't care about the Koichi. Yeah, just Faith. Get back the Trinity stuff. He plays Premature, which will bring back Kaiku, which continues locking me out of Chaos. I draw to Koichi. So here, the plan is just to use the Jar of Greeds, and then Heavy, and then Duo, and then Sorcerer, and set Faith. And I banish the Blade Knight to cut him off of Chaos. And set faith, book, ring, and draw solemn. I know this is serpent set. Faith just takes back graceful again. Discards here are serpent. And with 6 in deck, you don't really care about upstart anymore. You'd rather have the 1400 attack of Dekoichi just in case he's able to stall it out somehow. And upstart's not going to help you, it will only help him. Dekoichi's 1400 attack will help you and deck out, not deck out. So here, there's a decision between like summoning Deco or summoning Tribe. But if he torrentials, I now have 6 in deck to deal 5200. There is one more sorcerer in deck, but if that's like bottom card, we can potentially lose. So you just want to attack with faith here. Goat. Set Deco, book, psalm. Please, nobleman. That's fine. Attacks. And I have book. I take pot. Graceful is fine too, but I was fine with just pot. And here you just summon Tribe, discard Serpent, pop the tokens, summon Chaos Sorcerer, and that's game. Alright, that was my round 1 match. Won that 2-0. Pretty easily, I'd say. Like, I never really lost control of any of those games. Yeah, I just stalled out the early portion of the game and then drew pot graceful stuff and won. So I'll be back with another round 2 next time. Thanks for watching.